So today we're gonna make a Lay's ranch chicken sandwich using these ranch potato chips. So the first thing you want to do is put your chips in your food processor. So let me see, he's gonna load that up real nice and fine. One fell to the side, so I'm gonna keep that for my damn self. Alright, so with your chips loaded into the food processor, you want to crush them up. So you kind of pulse this thing a little bit. I don't have a pulse setting because this is kind of a cheaper food processor, but just use what you got. If you don't have a food processor, you can put this in a plastic bag and just kind of beat them up. Now you don't want these too fine because you still want to have that crunch. So the next thing you're going to do is going to prep the chicken. So you want to cover this on both sides with plastic wrap because you're going to do this thing up like Thor. And that is a mighty little hammer. Don't you sleep on it. So we're going to pound this out. If you don't use plastic wrap, what's going to happen is the chicken is going to go everywhere. It's going to go on your face. It's going to go on your clothes, and you definitely don't want that. So you want to pound this out on both sides until it gets kind of flat, as flat as you can get it. Alright, so now that our chicken breast is patted out all flat and fantastic, next thing we're going to do is season this thing up. Now you can use a little salt, you can use a little pepper, but to keep us going with the ranch theme that we have going on, we want to use some good old Hidden Valley ranch seasoning. So we're going to generously season this thing up. And don't be scared of it. You want a good bit of seasoning because you really want that flavor to really come through. So we're going to bread this thing up, and what you're going to need is going to need some flour. If you want to season your flour, you can, but the chips and the ranch seasoning itself should have enough sodium in it for you, so you really don't need that. So of course you want to take you a beaten egg, slide that over, a little egg wash. I mean, you can just use a little bit of egg, and then just a little dash of water, and then you want to use those chips. Or them chips, as we like saying, sake on it. So of course, if you were making more than one of these, you would need a lot more chips, but the handful of chips that I use should be enough. So what you want to do is when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you press it because you really want those chips to stick to this chicken breast. So make sure as you're doing this, you top the breast with the chips, and then you press. You want to keep flipping back and forth until you really get all those chips incorporated onto that breast. So you want to preheat a deep fryer to about 350. And you want to let this go for about 5 to 8 minutes. It's a chicken breast and it's boneless, so it's really not going to take long to cook at all. Now, keep in mind you can do this with chicken strips too. I mean, if you want to cut up some chicken bites, you can do it that way. I mean, it's your world. You really do what you want to do. But for the purposes of this sandwich, we're doing it with a chicken breast. As you can see, this thing is already getting nice and crispy, and it is now perfect. That's what you're looking for. Alright, so we're going to place this to the side and we're going to get started on our slaw. So we want to take some red cabbage. Then you want to take some more of that Hidden Valley ranch seasoning. Be ranching this thing out. And yes, I wiped the bottle off. So we're going to use a bit of sour cream, a little bit of mayo. And we're going to use a little bit, just a little tink pinch of vinegar, some lemon juice, and a little bit of buttermilk. So traditionally, when you're making just like ranch itself, you're going to actually use buttermilk, you're going to use mayonnaise, and you're going to use sour cream. So essentially, we're making ranch, but we're just going to add it to this cabbage to make a slaw. Now you can make this as wet or as dry as you like. As you can see, I did mine a little wetter, but I believe I'm going to probably add a little more cabbage here just because I want it just a little more drier. Should be just about enough. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and mix all of this together. All right, now this looks much better. Definitely more of what I was going for. Now if you want to leave it wet, I mean you can, but this ain't KFC slaw. You don't need to have it in a pool of juice. So we're going to taste this to make sure that the seasoning is where we want it to be. It's not quite there, so what I'm going to do is going to add a little bit of that ranch seasoning. All right, so now we're going to mix this together. And as you can see, these flavors are really starting to chill one another. So we're going to taste that. And we're just about there. So once you get to the point where you can really taste that ranch seasoning, what you want to do is you want to add just a little bit of salt. And of course a little bit of pepper. Well, actually, we're going to add some red pepper flakes. Give us a nice little spice. So you're going to put the slaw to the side and let this go for a little bit. The longer you let it sit, the better it's going to taste. Alright, so next we're going to do kind of a quick pickled radish. So we're going to take a little bit of vinegar, take some very, very, very thinly sliced radish. The thinner this is, the quicker it's going to pickle. And then you're going to get you a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt. And of course, some good old red pepper flakes. Alright, so you want to mix this up. You want to let it sit for about 20 minutes. It's not going to take long at all. Now, if you want to use pickles, you can. I mean, if you want to use, pickled red onions, you can. But I think the radish really adds a depth of flavor. All right, so let's build this sandwich up. So I'm going to take a bun, and I like sriracha on mine. And this is a toasted sesame seed bun. So now I'm going to top it off with these pickled radishes. Probably need a bigger bun because this is a big old breast, as you can see. But a lot of meat never hurt nobody. Pause. So then we're going to add our ranch slaw, or red ranch slaw, if you want to call it. And we're going to top it with our bun. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Serve this with a side of chips. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you think.